This is Linda from Direct Property, bringing you a business perspective to investment properties. Why is it important to find out where your properties are positioned on the matrix? Because you want a lifestyle, and this helps you manage your future capacity to either replicate investments or divest of investments. Your end game is to replace your current income with investment income. How do you do that? By understanding how to mitigate risk while managing a property portfolio and understanding the context of changing markets. Owners putting their dogs on life support, cows looking for new places to graze, problem children walking the tightrope, and stars falling or being crowded out. The Boston Consulting Matrix was originally designed to help businesses decide what to keep, sell, or invest more in. This model breaks down investments into 4 categories: dogs, cash cows, question marks, and stars. Each quadrant has its own set of characteristics. By understanding these characteristics, you can strategically plan your moves and hedge your portfolio for better long-term risk management. From the first brick laid to demolition, property moves through different cycles and quadrants. Why are we using a business model for property? Because property is a source of cash flow and capital growth, and it needs to be treated as your business. What if you have an underperforming property and limited by cash flow to service loans? Then what happens if you don't have enough equity to safeguard other assets? Let's discover the warning signs of a slippery slope. We'll start with dogs. Dogs have low capital growth and low cash flow. This would be a business you would consider liquidating or repurposing its use. This can turn out to be cash traps. Dogs are hungry, they keep eating your profits, so it's dragging the performance of the whole portfolio down. In a dog's younger days, it could have been positioned well. There was scarcity in the market and could command a high rental return. Now the area has matured and the returns are no longer there because of saturation. Cranes are spanning the horizon like swords, sparring for prominence. Cash dogs? Well, with cash dogs you can either starve them or reinvent another purpose. You don't want to throw good money after bad. Sometimes you can't offload a dog when you want to, so you have to figure out how to revive it for a time and keep it hobbling along even though it's on its last legs. Sure, it seems like this is your needy pet, but in reality it's robbing you of your future. Crimes this dog has committed is destroying the hot water system, rusting the roof guttering, inflating land rates, increasing energy costs, blowing out our strata fees, and eating our income and profits. So owners, beware. In another video, I talk about 5 ways to put a dog on life support. Click on the link below. Secondly, we have cash cows. This is an asset in an established and mature slow growth area. Its rental return is far greater than its lethargic capital growth. The high cash flow provides a steady source of income and with little maintenance. There's enough milk to spill over into other properties and also support expansion or renovations and to service other debt. Although the cow's personality can be viewed as complacent with lack of innovation, you need to be careful of the disruptive innovators. They could be a future threat and cause displacement of your grazing cows. You might need to rotate where you are grazing. So think about it, what could dry up the milk? What is the current demand and supply situation? Are there changing demographics? What are the current economic markers? So think about diversifying how you receive rental income. The third characteristic is question marks. Question marks are business units experiencing low share in a high-growth industry. This quadrant is like having a problem child. It can be disruptive until it reaches maturity, by which time you hope there is some stability and maturity, and they are finally producing results. In this quadrant, there is an element of investment risk. Question marks can drop into any other quadrant. It is like watching a tightrope walker, wondering which side is he going to fall into. An example of a question mark could be a home and land package in a newly developed estate. This is a type of off-the-plan commitment. You have looked at the master plan, but you don't know the impact this infrastructure will have on future demographics in, say, 10 years from now. You must analyse properties in this quadrant frequently and closely to see if they are worth maintaining. Finally, we have stars. Stars are high growth and high cash flow properties. Usually they are the first ones into the market. However, because of their high growth rate, stars consume large amounts of cash. Stars can eventually become cash cows if they can stay on top of the market until a time when the market growth slows down, making way for new shooting stars. A good example would be any property with position. To achieve this, there needs to be some level of scarcity in order to retain high cash flow. As soon as the market becomes more mature, there will be more competition, more saturation. Then it could slip into another quadrant. So now that you understand a little more about the characteristics, how can you apply this to your long-term planning? There are two broad applications. If you have a salary-paying career and you have many more years of employment, you might kick off with cash flows, then question marks, and ultimately stars. If you have less than 10 years in your career, you might be focusing on cash cows, converting most of your assets into the cash flow quadrant, then weeding out assets that are draining your portfolio. Your end game is to replace your current salary with income-producing assets, of which property may play a significant role. This is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice.